Out here, the Suns are going to talk about it, up by 4.
Gotta keep the pace of the game up. We're doing a good job. Just keep the pace of the game up. Guys, we gotta play every play. Hey, he made a hustle play and the other guys didn't hustle down. We gotta, hey, every play has gotta be the play.
That was 2 huddles ago. Alvin Gentry talking to his Phoenix Suns team. In this huddle, he said, guys, all I need from you is 3.5 minutes. I promise you, we're going to make a name for ourselves in playing defense. Then he pointed at Amari Stoudemire and said, it's got to start with you. You've got to slow down Tim. He's the one really killing us. Speaking of Tim Duncan, Kevin.
Thank you, Marty. They are the #1 offense in the NBA, the Phoenix Suns. But as Marty says, defense now has got to be their calling card, up by 4, 3.5 left in regulation. Activity and movement, Doug. That's been kind of the key word most of this season, especially the second half of the season for this Phoenix team.
Well, that's what you have to do, Kevin. To be a good offensive team, you've got to have good spacing. You have player movement, ball movement. The ball, you find the open man side to side. And that's when any offensive team is at their best. Let's see what Greg Popovich is going to get coming out of this timeout. Richard Jefferson back in the game after being on the bench for a long time.
Jefferson comes in for Mason. The switch on defense. Here comes Ginobili. It's just Dudley defending. It's Tony Parker. Shot clock is down to 7. Looking on Richardson. Tony Parker. Parker, Doug, off the bench in the beginning of the game. Starting the second half, has 21 points on 19 shots. Stoudemire and Duncan.
What a shot. Woo. Wow, just a mental job that time. Duncan had his hand, looked like all over the ball, and Stoudemire just willed that shot in. What a great play.
That's the first hit.
3-point line. Jefferson is not comfortable shooting the 3, so he's in a long 2, which makes rotation a lot easier to be able to help on the screen roll and get back to that guy in the corner who's looking to shoot a long 2 instead of a 3.
Jefferson only 1 of 4 in the playoffs, including the first round. Here is Parker. Duncan. Ginobili, shot clock at 4, defending Richardson. Rebound by Stoudemire. He's got 13 rebounds and 23 points.
Well, there's that some of the defense that Alvin Gentry wanted. That was a very good possession for the Suns.
Nash, Dudley, Grant Hill. Parker with the rebound. Into Dudley. Oh, and then a rebound for San Antonio. Richardson easily gets it for number 5 in that category for him.
Yeah, fortunate that time for the Phoenix Suns because Parker got right on top of the basket, missed a pretty easy shot.
Ginobili's on Nash.
Look at the spacing of the Suns, all behind the 3-point line.
Good point. This is Nash. It is a foul. It's on Steve Nash. It is his 3rd personal foul. Playing with a bad right hip. Looks pretty spry tonight in 35 minutes, 30 points. Ginobili. Phoenix has a foul again. This is Hill from outside. Dudley with the rebound. George Hill 2 of 7.
Now those are the 3s he hit against Dallas. He hit those big 3s against Dallas tonight. It just wasn't there for him.
The shooting in the 4th quarter. Nash, Hill, Richardson for 3.
This is their favorite play. They call this short. It's a screen roll. They throw it to Grant Hill. He finds opposite side. That's either Channing Frye or Jason Richardson. This time it's Jason Richardson, the X factor. He has 25. The last 10 times he's done that, they have won. Is he going to make it?
We're back in Phoenix, Arizona, revisiting the cold, hard facts presented by Coors Light.
Well, we talked about the Suns winning this game tonight for their psyche, what it would do. Looks like they're going to protect home court here tonight. Pace of the game, 30-point quarters tonight. They get off to a great start. Steve Nash, 31 in that first quarter for the Suns. How about the screen roll game? Amari Stoudemire, 23 points, 16 in the paint. Nash has 30, 10 of 6. He has 16 in the paint. And then the X factor, Jason Richardson with that big 3. Will that be enough to close it out?
like you said, 10 straight. When he's hit that mark, Doug, you're all over it. Closing out quarters has been important, too, for the Suns in this game. Second quarter, they were +6. Third quarter, they were +10. So far, they're +7 in the fourth. You can see the run in under 3 minutes. Dudley, watching Parker. Hill is over Ginobili. A screen. Parker finds it. Duncan tries inside with a Phoenix foul. 1:11 to play. Stoudemire was in there as the line of defense and picks up his 5th. Stoudemire, Hill, Dudley, and Richardson, the Phoenix 5. Duncan, Ginobili, Hill, Parker, and Jefferson, the San Antonio Spurs. 5. Tony Parker will be at the free throw line. And Doug tonight, 101, 21 points overall and 20 shots.
Well, again, this will only be the 7th and 8th free throw of the second half for the San Antonio Spurs. Alvin Gentry told his team they were fouling too much at halftime. They've made the adjustment. We talk about the Phoenix Suns and their shooting. When they shoot 45% or better in the playoffs, they continue to win tonight. They're going to be 5-0 as tonight they're shooting over 50%. They're the #1 shooting team in the league, #1 behind the three-point line. They're a great free throw shooting team, so when they play good defense, the way they shoot the ball, they are very tough to beat.
That was a historic three-point percentage, too, this season. Second best ever. 41, as you mentioned. And here's Nash. Parker, defending. Screened by Stoudemire. Parker sticks right with it. Shot clock is down to 6. This is Jefferson on Hill. Grant Hill puts in his first field goal since 11:28 left in the first quarter. He hit the first field goal of the game for the Phoenix Suns. A big one right there. Duncan a screen. Ginobili driving inside. Hill was taken out. Ginobili flies inside, and he's got 27 to lead San Antonio. Nash behind him was Hill, who draws the foul. He's got 4.
And you foul Steve Nash, you might as well give him 2 points because he's a 90% shooter. But look at Grant Hill gets hit with a screen by Tim Duncan. Ginobili gets all the way to the paint. But again, Kevin, the spacing on the floor for the Spurs is so different. They do not have that three-point shooting. Used to be Bruce Bowen out there knocking down shots, Robert Horry, some of these guys shooting those threes, and they are not nearly as good a three-point shooting team, so their spacing isn't quite as good on the floor, and you can help a little bit more on Duncan and get back.
They'll be back here on Wednesday for Game 2. Game 3 will be on ESPN. Doug and I will be in San Antonio on Mother's Day. Takes you through the first 4 games. Nash again. Steve Nash. 32 points, 10 assists, 4 of 4 from the line in 36 minutes. Parker, the acceleration. Foul! Count it. He'll go to the line. Tony Parker, 25 points. He and Nash have put on an outstanding offensive show tonight.
And the big question to me is going to be, as we see Tony Parker go away from the screen and reject it, they call the pushing foul there on Jason Richard. Looked like he might have just pushed him. See if he gets his hand right there on his hip just a little bit. And the foul call, but will Greg Popovich start Tony Parker in Game 2? Will we see that adjustment to help get them maybe off to a better start? George Hill did not have a good game tonight against Steve Nash to start the game. Nash got off to a great start on all those pick and rolls, so as the chess game will start here in the playoffs, once you lose a game, you start trying to make some different decisions, and we'll see what Pop's going to do for Game 2.
Parker has 9 in the quarter for San Antonio, trailing by 5. Half-minute regulation. Phoenix on top by 5. They've led by as many as 14. Coming up next inside the NBA, EJ, the Jet, Sir Charles. Analysis and post-game reaction from tonight's 2 playoff games. And tomorrow night, playoff action continues on TNT. Atlanta, Orlando, Game 1. Utah, Lakers, Game 2. Coverage 8 o'clock Eastern Time. Just because something worked in the first series doesn't mean it's going to necessarily be carried over to the second.
No, you got to make adjustments based on personnel. Ginobili's going to trip Nash. He's going to go down, and he'll pop up and shoot his 2 free throws. But that's how every series changes. You know, you had in the first series, you had a Dirk Nowitzki, and what you had to do with a guy like that, you didn't see as much screen roll with a Jason Kidd as you're seeing with Steve Nash. As I said before, when this series is over, the team that is going to be able to do the best job with their screen